Welcome to Sports Corner with Ralph Williams and Smokin' Jim Frazier. And now here's your host, Ralph Williams and Smokin' Jim Frazier.
Yeah, right now, guess what time it is? It is Sports Corner time. Sports Corner show with me, Ralph Williams, and Smokin' Jim Frazier. Here we go. All right. Plus, some Van Halen for you. Yes, absolutely. All right. And we're here today. Welcome to the Sports Corner show. My name is Ralph Williams. I am your host for today's show with co-host Smokin' Jim Frazier. Smokin' Jim, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. Looking forward to it.
All right. Excuse me, everybody. I'm having issues again with my eyes today, so some things are moving a little slow here. There we go. All right. I wanted to go into that. And I want to go into this. And there we are with that. And let me see what we got here. All right. What we got here? All right. No. I want to show that. Let's erase that. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right, Smokin' Jim, just give me 1 second. A little behind the 8 ball, folks, today because of my eyes a little bit, so I'm having some issues trying to put stuff up here. All right, our new little format here with I got to put Smokin' Jim's name up here on the screen, so he is on the phone with us. Later on today at 4:30, we're going to have KEIITH ENGLE join us from the TGI Sports Network. He's going to join us today, and when he comes in today, we have a lot to talk about. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. So here we are. There it is. Let's see if I can get it up there. There we go. It's not working. Why? I went to the wrong banner. Okay, there we go. Now I got you on the phone. Co-host Smokin' Jim Frazier. All right, there we go. All right, everybody, welcome back. And I'm Ralph Williams, as you know, your host for the Sports Corner show today. We have a lot to talk about. The Four Nations tournament, the NFL Combine, baseball season's getting started. Pirates are starting up already. And we're in the Mata Heating and Air Conditioning Studio, 724-2010-500. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. All right. Also, don't forget later on, 4:30, KEIITH ENGLE, TGI Sports. And later on our wrestling show, which starts about 5 o'clock, at 5:30, by phone, T. Ranchula will join us today at 5:30 by phone. This is a definite today. T. Ranchula will join us at 5:30 by phone to talk about an event coming up on Thursday down at the Enclave on the south side. Look forward to seeing a whole bunch of you down there. Shake some hands, say hello to everybody as well. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter X platforms, and also on the Huddle Sports Network. And RXJ says hello. Hello's RXJ. I'm glad you're part of the program today. If you have any comments, put in the comments section here as well, and we'll be more than happy to accommodate you. All right, my rant today is this. You know, the Four Nations tournament was here. It was great. The NHL really did a good job of promoting their product with this Four Nations tournament. My question is, where does the NBA go? The NBA hasn't done anything to promote their brand overseas or in other countries or to do anything. All they've done is the lousy all-star game that they have that everybody shows off at, okay? And then you have LeBron James, who says he wasn't going to show up, and then I think he did play, and if he did, then what happened was he didn't do a lot. All right, look, it's this simple. NBA, you got to get your house in order because the NHL is ahead of you, way ahead of you. And Gary Bettman, the commissioner, I got to give him credit today because of this Four Nations tournament. It really drew a lot of audience. People really enjoyed this. This was something different. Okay, when is the NBA going to come up with something else? Because they're sinking in popularity. They're sinking in ratings, and they're sinking all across the board. And that's my rant for today. Smokin' Jim's wisdom.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. And the NFL Combine is coming around. It's very important for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they're in a position now where they have to take the best available athlete. That was Chuck Noll's philosophy. I think that you cannot pass on a Dan Marino to take another position. You got to take the best available athlete. I've been hearing rumors that the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking at defensive line help. But if you have a better, more highly rated prospect at another position, you have to take it. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers basically get two high draft picks on their offense early on because the number one pick, Fatana, didn't play last year. So you get an offensive lineman coming in. That's basically like an extra draft pick. And then you have Roman Wilson, a wide receiver that didn't play last year that was highly rated. And the Steelers still need more help at wide receiver and offensive line. And who knows what's happening at running back. So, again, in the NFL Combine, Pittsburgh Steelers need to take the best available athlete instead of the best need to fill a position.
Absolutely, Smokin' Jim. I agree with you 100%. That was a really good Smokin' Jim's wisdom today. The Steelers need to get with it here in this combine and really find some athletes, as you said. I know they're looking at defensive linemen, but you know something? A lot of them go in the first round, and some of them are busts. I would rather them take a wide receiver, which is one of the needs in the first round, or a really good stud offensive lineman if you can get them, and then go into your defensive line. You need to go, and you really need to get some defensive line help. Look for a free agent out there, and then try to find some younger guys as depth, on the roster, and try to really beef that up. It's old, it's slow, and the defensive line needs a lot of help. And we have our linebackers. We really don't need any more. If you find one in the late rounds or one that's one of those rookie free agents, that's fine. I have no problem with that. And we've had some guys that have been backups that have been really good over the years that have been those types of athletes from the rookie unsigned draft picks. So, but Smokin' Jim, I agree with you 100%. Your thoughts on this here as well, as I said, and I think you're right. They need to go get some athletes. Do you think they sign Najee Harris?
I'm not sure I would. I don't think that you could replace 6'2", 245 pounds. I don't think that you could replace the guy's durability. I don't think that you could place his unselfishness. This is a guy that, like a Franco Harris and like a Larry Zonka, did not mind sharing the football with others. A guy like Jimmy Brown would never do that. Barry Sanders would never do that. So he don't mind alternating. He's a good receiver out of the backfield, excellent blocker. And if you let him get away, now what I call is running in quicksand. Now you have to replace a position in the draft. So now you're wasting another draft pick on a running back when you had one on your roster.
Right, exactly. I think they should re-sign Najee Harris. I disagree with Luther on our Sports Corner show that they need to get rid of Najee Harris. I think they can sign him to a franchise tag or maybe put something on him. to hold him for 1 year, see what else you got, then look at expanding his contract and giving him something that's good. Steelers got a lot of money under salary cap this year, but they have to address a few needs. Now, I was hearing a story today by Brooke Pryor, who is from ESPN. She said that the Steelers are possibly going to sign both Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. They're currently having negotiations with both agents. I don't like this, Smokin' Jim. I think Justin Fields should be the starting quarterback here. I think Russell Wilson should go to Las Vegas and team back up with Pete Carroll down there. And I think the Steelers should move on from Russell Wilson and whatnot. So I believe that that's the situation with where they're at with quarterback. And now I'm hearing Daniel Jones. What rumors what do you think?
Well, number one, they don't have any quarterbacks on their roster, so they definitely need to make a decision and commit to somebody. I don't think that they're going to draft one. I like Dart out of Mississippi. I think that he's going to be a outstanding pro.
Right.
But I don't see the Steelers taking him in the first round. I think they can win with either quarterback. It's just a matter of you would have to change your offense to support one or the other. They're two different type styles in their quarterback position. I kind of think that in Arthur Smith's offense, I think that he would prefer, if he had a good running back, I think that he would prefer Justin Fields.
Well,
I think from the leadership standpoint,
right,
somebody that's a teacher and a communicator and somebody that can throw that long, deep football, I think Coach Tomlin would prefer Russell Wilson. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I think the decision should have been already made by now.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're horsing around with this decision, and as you said, it should have been made immediately. And they have the combine this week and whatnot in the next week or so, and it's going to be aired on the NFL Network, and you could see all the different positions and different players. All right, Farmers Insurance, Robin Campbell, 412-366-3399. Call Robin today for life, fire, home, and also please don't forget about your car insurance with him. He has great rates through Farmers in Bristol West. Also, please, I urge you, renters insurance, please get it. It costs almost less than $20 a month. So if you got to put down something like cigarettes or whatever, and it's important that you get renters insurance. You've seen some of the fires that have been going on lately, some of the stuff that's been going on in some of these apartment buildings. If you don't have renters insurance, you're screwed. So please get it. Call Robin today, 412-366-3399. Robin Campbell Insurance. All right, Smokin' Jim.
Ralph,
yes, go ahead.
Hey, Ralph.
Go ahead.
A story that you broke about a month ago is very interesting and has some legs to it. I seen anywhere where Deion Sanders' son could be the first player picked overall.
Yes.
Or he could slide all the way into the 20s or lower. So
if Shadir Sanders is there,
that story.
Yeah,
I
did.
Broke that story about a month ago.
Yes,
if
I did.
he's there with the 21st pick, do you think the Steelers would take Deion Sanders' son?
Yes. You know why? It puts butts in the seats because everybody's going to want to. Everybody's going to want to see him. They're going to,
Okay.
All right, and then you not only have Justin Fields' legs. If you bring back Kyle Allen, which I think they might, or if they can get Daniel Jones for 1 year on the cheap and say, hey, look, you're going to be a backup. Shadir can learn while he's watching. And once again, if Arthur Smith can get his act together as an offensive coordinator and think outside the box, maybe we could see Shadir Sanders in special packages. Okay, you see, I like that kind of stuff. The Wildcat. I like the special packages, some gadget plays. We see nothing. It's just a plain offense. Arthur Smith has got to fix this. Our good offensive coordinator, Smokin' Jim, and I think you'll agree with me. What they do is they make the offense to their talents. You see what I'm saying? And Arthur Smith keeps trying to shove a square peg into a round hole, which means if you don't have the talent to run the power running game, you don't have the talent, that kind of thing. What you need to do is do something else. Your thoughts on that?
Very well said. Good points.
Oh,
I
yeah.
agree with
And
you.
this Saturday on the Sports Corner radio show, we have a special guest coming on. I have some more mock drafts I want to talk about. And Smokin' Jim, we're going to have some more fun. Remember, we had fun with that, the greatest players in NFL history, the Pat McAfee list, and we broke it down. Well, this week,
I enjoyed that.
we're going to talk about the teams that have the most in the salary cap this year, and the Steelers are in that top 8 teams that have the most salary cap. We're going to talk about that. We have Coach Gilliard coming on, the the girls basketball coach at Alderdice, who just won the City League title. Smokin' Jim's going to tell us who's part of the City League award ceremony. Also, Smokin' Jim, if you would, you could announce it here. Who's going to be getting awards and things like that. So Smokin' Jim does a lot of that stuff, I know, because I got the Achieving Greatness Award. So, but check us out Saturday on the Answer 92.5 FM and 1250 on the AM dial with me, Ralph Williams, Smokin' Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, and Luther Dupree. And I tell you what, it is one great show. All right. Don't forget our wrestling show coming up later on at 5 o'clock, Wrestle Talk with me, Ralph Williams, Smokin' Jim Frazier. We got a lot to talk about. New women's champions, tag team champions in the WWE. Logan Paul says he's going to be a full-time wrestler. We will find that out as well and talk a whole lot more coming up. AEW news, also TNA stuff. And at 5:30 by phone, we will have Tarantula. Yes, he is a local wrestler here, and we will have him as well. All right. Okay, Smokin' Jim. What do you have going on? You said City League awards coming up and stuff. Who's going to be? Who's some names we should look out for?
Well, this year the City League Hall of Fame is, if you're talking about the City League Hall of Fame, that's December 6th.
Oh, okay. So that's far away.
Year, so we still, we still got some time, but we do have the Pennsylvania State Hall of Fame. That's at April 12th. And we got some great guys going in. Merrill Hodge is going in. He's committed. He'll be in. Toon Chilkin is going in. Plus, he had passed away. Mike McCarthy is going in to the Hall of Fame.
Oh,
Dallas Cowboy, former Dallas Cowboy coach. Tom Donahoe, former GM of the Pittsburgh Steelers, is going in. How about Dr. Tom Bradley?
Yes, I did hear that. Yes,
legendary. He's going in. A lot of people don't know that he was an All-American linebacker at Penn State. I kind of forgot about that. You know, people talk about his younger brother that also played and coached at Penn State. But Dr. Bradley, they only talk about him as a surgeon, but he was a All-American linebacker. And we have a boxer going in for the first time since 1981. Last boxer to go into the Hall of Fame was Andy Kid DePaul. This year we got Tommy Yankello.
Tommy Lankello, used to be the trainer for Paul Spadafora. Yeah.
Paul Spadafora,
right.
Roy Jones Jr.
Yes.
Yeah, a bunch of guys. Yeah, Tommy Yankello's going in. So
I didn't know he did Roy Jones Jr. Class. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had him when he fought Mike Tyson.
Oh, okay.
Tommy was in Roy Jones's corner, but very excited about the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame.
That's great, man. I can't wait to see how this goes and all that stuff. That's going to be super duper. All those guys going in there. Tom Bradley, especially. I felt that the Steelers, shouldn't have let him go. He was working real well as a defensive backs coach at the moment. But the biggest part was when he left Penn State, everybody thought he would be Pitt's new head coach, and I would have loved to have seen that because I think he could have recruited around Western Pennsylvania, which, of course, all of a sudden now, since Alan Green has shown up here as the athletic director, I heard from a source of mine he put some pressure on Narduzzi to recruit locally and now he's starting to. He's got 3 or 4 guys coming in next year on the recruiting trail. So we're going to find. He's got that kid from Peters Township and another kid and a few other kids coming. He's got about 4 or 5, coming in from the Whitfield this year. So I'm interested to see what happens. Coming up, I want to make a programming announcement. We are going to have every single week starting next Tuesday. We are going to have two guests, maybe 3, maybe 4. I'm going to try to squeeze 4 in. I want to try to do this in 8 shows, 32 teams, and not interfere with the wrestling show. If I have to, we will. We are going to have all 32 teams. I'm going to have somebody that represents or that is a reporter, somebody that covers these teams. And we're going to try to have somebody from all 32 teams come on here and tell us about what's going on in the combine, what their draft plans are, things like that leading up to the draft. Then we're going to have our Steeler draft show the Tuesday before the draft. And I have a great, we're in a no wrestling show that day. It's the Tuesday before the draft, which I believe is April, the end of April. And we're going to have a special show here, a bunch of people coming on. I'm rounding up the guest list now and getting it all ready to go. Ray Fittipaldo, possibly, some other people. We're going to get a bunch of guys on here that cover the Steelers and get their opinions about everything. It's going to be a great thing. That's why I am the booking machine. And we'll ask Keith today when we get him on, Keith Engle from TGI Sports. We get him on at 4:30. We're going to ask him his thoughts on some of the stuff, the teams and what they need, especially up in New York there where he lives, the New York Jets and Giants and things like that. Giants need a lot of help. Jets need a lot of help. I know Smokin Jim's not a fan of Aaron Glenn. So, but yeah, I like that. When Luther said to me last Saturday, he goes, what's the, who do you think the starting running back should be for the Jets? And I said, Izzy Abanikanda. So,
that was great. That was great.
Oh, man, I said Izzy Abanikanda. So,
they could do a lot worse. They could do a lot
I know.
worse than
I know. Both New York teams stink. The Jets stink. The Giants stink. There's a stinky smell coming from East Rutherford, New Jersey, man. Ooh, man, something stinks.
And the bad part about it, right down the street is Philadelphia. And
yeah.
So there's pressure on them to win. They don't want to be losing and Philadelphia's winning, man. That's a tough way to live.
Oh, absolutely, especially in that part of the United States where football is very heavy duty. New Jersey as well. I mean, it's part of all that over there. But we'll see what happens. Smokin Jim, your thoughts real fast on the Pitt basketball team, who seems to be sinking these days. They lose one here and there. They win a couple, maybe. I don't know. It's not looking too good this year. I will tell you this much. I talked to a source of mine down at Pitt. Alan Green is doing a lot of reviewing this year of both Pat Narduzzi and Jeff Capel. And he may be making some decisions at the end of at the end of the basketball season on Capel, and then at the end of the football season on Narduzzi. This year is definitely Narduzzi has to win this year. He really does. If he doesn't, he's done. Jeff Capel, I think this might be his last season if Pitt doesn't start doing something. Alan Green has been doing a lot of walking around the campus, doing a lot of looking around at all the sports and checking out the coaches in the games and things like that. What do you think about this thing with Alan Green? Do you think that one or both need to go?
Well, you broke this story about a year ago, and it's starting to get some legs, man.
Yes.
A lot of investors are looking to put money together, not for the NIL, but to buy out Narduzzi.
Yes.
And maybe even the basketball coach. So things aren't looking real good for the University of Pittsburgh right now. And I think football team put $20 million, got $20 million in the NIL. That ain't a lot of money.
No, that's not at all. No, and they got that Assurance 412 or something like that running around town, or Alliance or whatever it's called, running around town asking for donations, headed up by your buddy, Doug Whaley. He's in charge of that, Doug Whaley.
Oh, okay. So,
the man who got fired what? How many times as a GM?
Yeah,
Wasn't he the GM up in
so
Buffalo and hired Mike Mularkey and
yeah,
got fired? Yeah, yeah,
yeah, he was the GM
yeah,
at
fired.
yeah,
You know,
indeed. So
I got to do my Donald Trump imitation when he used to be on that one show. You're fired. You know. So,
but I
but
mean, you've been breaking these stories a year in advance, and now other people are starting to say what you've been saying for years. So
yeah, yeah. But I've been breaking them. And Brooke Pryor broke the story today from ESPN. She's very good at what she does, and what I like about Brooke is she'll ask Mike Tomlin tough questions, and then I think she purposely asks him these questions that he hates to answer, which is called a tough question as well. But she goes ahead and does that, and oh man, it's hilarious. It's really funny. I mean, how she does that, and that makes him angry, and I love it when he gets mad, especially or starts to get ignorant and smart with the media. But anyway, also I want to talk a little bit about Robert Morris basketball. Andy Toole, his team. Oh my gosh, they're winning games. They could make an NCAA bid this year. They're looking pretty good. I'd like to see that. Robert Morris has been down in doldrums for the last 4 or 5 years, figuring out what conference works for them. They're finally working it good in the Horizon Conference. Went out in the transfer portal this year. Got a bunch of players. Duquesne, on the other hand, basketball. Drew Joyce III, his cupboard was bare, like we talked about before, and his cupboard was bare, and he really hasn't done too well at Duquesne in his first season. Your thoughts, Smokin' Jim, Duquesne, Robert Morris?
well, yeah, I'm proud of Robert Morris. It's the first time in a long, long time that they got their basketball tradition back on track. And there's no excuse for Duquesne. I don't care if the cover was there or not.
Yeah.
Duquesne has always been a good basketball program. They got to get out there and hustle. They got to get out there and recruit, whatever it takes, to get that program back up and running. They cannot have a dismal season like they just had this past year and make excuses.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, here we have Keith Engle coming up here in about a minute or two here. But first, we're in the Mata Heating and Air Conditioning Studios 808 in the Allentown section of the city of Pittsburgh, and Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, 724-201-0500. Call Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Call them today, and please get them. Call them, and I got to tell you, they do some great work, and they've been in the business a long time and do a whole lot of things. All right. Keith Engle's brought to you in part today by Alex's Flowers, 412-661-6071. Alex's Flowers. Call him today. Funerals, weddings, and even just for your special, special sweetheart, call today. All right. We are about to have Keith Engle come up here in about a minute. And Keith is from TGI Sports Network, which we're simulcasted on today, as well as on our normal Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, X, and Huddle Sports Network on the Roku channel, and also on Fire TV. All right. Let's bring up Keith Engle right now. Keith, welcome to the program. How are you?
Good afternoon, Ralph. How are you?
Great. Say hello to Smokin' Jim Frazier, who's on the phone.
Smokin' Jim, how are you?
Hey, Keith, always good to hear you, buddy.
Same with you,
All
guys.
right.
A little bit.
I'm sorry, what's that, Keith?
Just been a little bit since we chatted. I always love chatting
Yeah,
with you.
it's been a few, but you know what? We'll start having you on a little bit more around here. So all right, Pensman. I'm sorry, TGI Sports there. It says you can support the. Oh, okay, yeah. All right, there we go.
Automatically when I share. Sorry about that.
Right. All right, Danny Fuller's on here. Thank you for being part of the program. It says Keith Engle, the man. Boom. Yes, indeed. You know it. Keith Engle is the man. Keith, let's get started here. Let's talk about this Four Nations hockey thing that went on with the NHL. I said in my rant as we started the program, do you think the NBA has blown it as far as promotions and getting stuff into foreign countries and getting themselves out there to other entities and other people and building up their brand? What do you think?
Yes, I mean, they did a great job and have done a great job of getting European players, but I don't think they capitalize on it.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
The Four Nations All-Star games, All-Star in all sports, All-Star games are passé. They're not worth playing. I think it took a week to maybe 10 days to play this Four Nations tournament. And the NBA, and to me, Major League Baseball maybe even ought to be looking at doing something similar to this over that time frame, and rather than wasting our time with all-star games that have no meaning. This was a wonderful, wonderful, whatever it was, 7 to 10 days of
Yes.
hockey.
Yes, I thought that they put on a very good extravaganza. They built up their fan base, and I got to give Gary Bettman a lot of credit. I mean, he really put this together. Him and his team and board and whatever for the NHL, they really put this together. Smokin' Jim, your thoughts on this Four Nations tournament?
Oh, it was great. I mean, how can you say anything other than that? It was outstanding, and I tell you what, it came to overtime. USA almost knocked off Canada. Man, I like to see that again.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was the game to watch, man.
You know, one of the things that I noticed, Ralph, and maybe I just haven't been looking in the right places, but you know, during the World Baseball Classic and everything else, we hear if somebody gets hurt, their fans are crying that they shouldn't be playing in a meaningless international tournament, which I think is ridiculous. I love international competitions. But I didn't see any of this crying. There were a couple of major injuries that are going to affect NHL teams the rest of the year, but you don't hear the fans crying the way that the baseball fans cried about the WBC. So it's just a different mentality, and they want to play these international competitions. And I think it's great for whatever sport we're talking about. Football obviously would be different, but you could do it in the other sports easily.
Yeah, well, baseball, Keith, they always whine about injuries. I mean, they go to the Arizona Fall League and they go to all these other leagues or whatever they're doing, and then they complain about getting hurt. But that comes with conditioning. And if you're going to do something like that, you better be really good at conditioning, I think, with that.
100%. And, that's one place in baseball. We've gotten off topic a little bit, but one place that baseball is really falling behind is guys just aren't in shape and in baseball shape, right? They lift weights and they do all this other stuff that doesn't have anything to do with the rigors that they're going to put their body through for, 5 months, 6 months.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you 100%. Let's talk a little bit about, you're up in New York there. Let's talk a little bit about what the Jets and the Giants are looking at the Combine. We have the draft coming up. I'm going to have you come on, talk about where the direction that the Jets and the Giants are going. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, both have huge gaping holes at quarterback, obviously. The Giants have a lot of other holes besides. I think the Jets are probably set up a little bit better if they were able to fill that quarterback situation. With the draft coming, the problem with the quarterback draft this year, it's a very weak class compared to last year.
It's another Kenny Pickett class, which was a weak class.
It is. And neither one of these guys, Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, would get picked, before any of the guys who got picked in the first round last year. And they're going to get overdrafted because that's what we do. If you need a quarterback, you're going to have to overdraft them. And
hang nails with baseball, says Danny Fuller. Danny, thank you for being part of the program today. I urge you, when Keith's not on, to still come on and check out my show. Yes, every single Tuesday here.
I like the ride because I picked the Giants to make the playoffs last year. So I'm a Patriot fan.
Well, I know you're a Patriot fan too. Tell us a little bit about New England. I mean, they fired their coach and they got, So what are your thoughts on what New England could do this year?
No, they need to shore up the offensive line, unless Hunter or the kid from Penn State, Carter, the edge rusher, unless one of them falls to them at 4, they're going to have to go offensive line because they got to protect. They got a franchise quarterback. Drake May appears to be the real deal, and I think they need to protect the quarterback and maybe find some weapons for him, maybe in free agency. But we got to look at Gerard Mayo would still be the head coach there if oh my gosh, this is my coach. I just had a total, but Mike Vrabel hadn't been available. Gerard Mayo would probably still be the coach. And Gerard Mayo was a victim of circumstances. Mike Vrabel's going to change the whole, the whole approach to the game there. There's going to be accountability, and it wasn't there this last year. And I think Mayo was just thrown in too soon. He wasn't ready for that position, and it's unfortunate for him because he's a company man with the Patriots and has been since his rookie year. He played his entire career here. But Mike Vrabel just is a different animal, and he very successful turning. He didn't get him to a Super Bowl, Tennessee, but that team was like 5-23 or something before he got there. The 2 seasons before he got there, and he took them to the playoffs the very first year and to an AFC Championship game without a quarterback.
Oh yeah, absolutely, he did. Yeah, you're right. And he had Ryan Tannehill, who's a fossil, and he had him. And then Arthur Smith was his offensive coordinator. And he had Dick LeBeau there for a little while. He had Russ Grimm, former Steeler coaches that were there. And when he had those, that's when he was good. We got James Morton here. Welcome to the show, James. I just put your comments up. And let's see who else we have here. All right. I'm sorry, Keith. My eyes are a little bit – I have a dry problem here. Linda McGrath, I believe is her name. Hello, Linda. Welcome to the program.
Linda, and, National Streaming Sports, who you asked me about yesterday.
Yes, I did. I'm interested in getting our show here on there.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for other outlets and stuff like that. So, right now we're on the Huddle Sports Network as well as on yours today, simulcasted. And I'm working on the South Florida Tribune and some, and now also we're going to be on Sports Vival, which here I'll show you the banner for that. That's coming up real soon. Sports Vival launches on Saturday, March 1st. And let me see if I can get I have the graphic here somewhere, I think. Let me see. No, I do not. I thought I did, but I don't. No. Oh, well. Wait a minute. Is this it here? No, that's not it. All right. Hang on. No, I do not have the graphic, unfortunately. So, but anyway, Sports Vival, we're going to be joining them real soon, and that's coming up.
Awesome.
So, we're going to be on a lot of networks. 2025 is going to be the year for our W Media Productions, I believe. We have a lot of shows going on. But I just don't get a lot of subscribers on YouTube, Keith. I'm having issues with that. Getting followers on Twitter, but I'm hoping that I can get more subscribers, get up to, I'd like to get to 300 by the end of the year, but if I get to 500, that'd be a bonus, and that'll be great. And then Smokin Jim Frazier here, one of my, he's my friend and co-host here, knows what it's like to be, up there and getting it moving. And that's exactly what we're doing here. And Saturday we have the sports radio show with me, Smokin Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, and Luther Dupree. And, that's what's going on. Keith, baseball season starting. Who do you look at this year?
As a Yankee fan, I look at the Yankees always, but there's still some problems and some questions there with, they need a couple of guys to bounce back with, more career type seasons like Goldschmidt and Bellinger, who they brought in to fill a couple of holes. They're going to go as far as, these reclamation projects will take them and their pitching staff, in my mind. I'm not a big Aaron Boone fan, and I'm not crazy about the fact that they extended him without. I know he got him to a World Series last year, but maybe I'm too hard on Aaron Boone, and that's why I can't get Brett Boone or Bob Boone to come on my show, maybe. But, but listen, the Red Sox are going to be better. I think they made a great move in getting Bregman, but that's going to be a very tough division. The Blue Jays got a lot to prove in that division. The Orioles, I think, are still going to be good. It's going to be and I think the Rays you can never count out. So it's going to be a very tough division.
Danny, I appreciate your things there. I appreciate you. I'm sorry, Keith.
That's okay.
But Danny, I appreciate your help there. Thank you so much. Give me in here with that.
Danny's a man out there in California. He's a big Dodger fan. The new evil umpire out there. He's a big Dodger fan. You got pressure though when you spend that kind of money and you've got that type of money committed to the future, like $1.4 billion in future payouts. You got to win, and it puts a different type of pressure on you. I'd love to
350 works for this year, Danny. But if it gets any higher, go ahead. I'm sorry, guys.
How are guys like your Pirates going to compete when again, the Yankees can spend money if they want to, but how are the Pirates and the Royals going to keep up with the halves? And I'm not saying they should be able to. I'm not a big revenue sharing guy. I think there needs to be a hard cap in baseball, and
yes, it does. It's not going to survive. It's not going to survive. Low attendance. Look at the White Sox. Nobody showed up for those, last 10 or 12, 15 games? There
Yeah.
was nobody there at their stadium. The Tampa Bay Rays this year, they have to play in the New York Yankees summer facility down there in Florida because their dome caved in. The Marlins, they suck. Excuse me for saying they suck.
Rays are playing at a 14,000 seat stadium this year.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe for 5 years.
Right. So, and the Marlins, they have a stadium that's way out by their airport that you can't get to on public transportation.
Yeah.
I had a discussion last night with Peter Blake about that on the Sports Web. And I'm on with him on Wednesday nights for the Turnbuckle Talk. And I had a discussion with him last night on his show about this. And he's like, oh, my gosh. And they're fighting for a new stadium down in Tampa.
Yeah. On the flip side, too, though, Ralph, when it comes to revenue sharing, I have a problem with some of the smaller markets who they get their money and they put it in their pocket and they don't to improve their team, which is what it's meant to do. And if we're not going to make it work the right way, then we can't have revenue sharing. We got to get owners in there that can spend the money and do that type of thing. Now I'm doing the show by myself. Where'd my boy Ralph go? Anyway, revenue sharing. Baseball's in a little bit of a pickle, I think, with hopefully Ralph will be back for his show here. What'd you do, Danny? All of a sudden, Keith's doing the stream of consciousness here. But
I didn't mean to do this. I hit the wrong button.
Geez, I thought I was on my own show there for a minute.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. We're good. All right. On the phone with us is co-host Smokin Jim Frazier. Smokin Jim, let's get your thoughts about what Keith and I were talking about here. What do you have to say?
No, I tell you what, man, just enjoying. I agree with everything both of you guys been saying.
All right, great. Smokin Jim, I didn't want you to think I forgot about you because remember, I'm the only one that don't forget about you.
My man.
All right, yeah, Keith, I agree with you on that. The Pirates. I want to tell you a little something about the Pirates here real quick. Bob Nutting, about 2-3 years ago, was under investigation by Major League Baseball. He received this revenue sharing money and didn't put it towards anything with his team. Now, all of a sudden, he went and he built a facility in Puerto Rico, and he has some players coming out of Puerto Rico every now and again. But that's all he did. He didn't do anything else with that money. Instead put it in his pocket. And he's been under investigation for a little while here. And a lot of people don't know this either. Thank you, Danny, for that. All right. So let's see what we got here. All right. Let's see. Danny here says Keith is taking the show over. Yes, he is.
Kicked you right out.
That's it. You kicked me out. Kick me and Smokin Jim to the curb, man. But anyway, so Bob Nutting put it in his pocket, and then he's being investigated. Now, I want to say this. We have a board here in Allegheny County here in Pittsburgh. It's called the Regional Asset District Board. This year, they gave the Pirates money again. They're giving the Steelers money and the Penguins money to fix up their places. But the Pirates, they're adding surcharges to their tickets yet again because they're upset with the Pirates. Because the Steelers, they give their money to the Steelers, and the Steelers don't have to pay them back. Okay? But when they give money to the Pirates, they told Bob Nutting, you want money from us, you're going to pay us back. So what they do is they put a ticket surcharge in there. And I think in 2 years, maybe 3, the lease is up. And the Rad Board's very upset with Bob Nutting. And we're going to find out what happens here with PNC Park.
Well, listen, that's a great, and there's a great history in Pittsburgh, obviously, with baseball. Yes. It's really sad to see the state that it's been in for, almost, you tell me, 2 decades?
2 decades or more. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So, but okay, we got to pay a couple bills here real quick. So let me go over here and get this up here. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Call them today, 724-2010-500. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Also, you want to check out Scott Morganroth. Keith knows Scott, I think. He should. He's been around a long time. Lessons to the Microphone, Enduring Wisdom, and he has a book out. And check it out. You can get it at Barnes & Noble or on Amazon, or check his publisher. 45 years in the business, and he's getting another book, and my name will be in that book. He's going to have a second part to this book. So, my name will be in there as well. Also, if you need to get good auto repair, go to the Big Dog Auto, 412-999-0121, Big Dog Auto, right around Buttermilk Hollow Road in West Mifflin near the Allegheny County Airport, not Pittsburgh International, County Airport out there in West Mifflin. Oil change, state inspections, much more, tires at good prices. He doesn't gouge you, take you to the cleaners, none of that stuff. Big Dog Auto. All right. Okay, Keith, we have a few more minutes with you here because we're going to try to wrap it up early. We got to get ready for our wrestling show coming up in about 5:00 here.
No worries.
We got probably about 5 minutes, maybe. Yeah, about 5 minutes here with you. Like I said, I'm having it's always on Tuesday. I have these issues with my eyes. I don't know why, but it is. I have technical problems every week. So
fight through it, Ralph.
Yeah, I know. All right. In closing, Keith, what do you want to add here? Anything you want to talk about directly? Come on out.
Well, again, it's a little
March
bit of
Madness is coming up.
We got March Madness, and actually something I enjoy even as much, or maybe even more than March Madness, is the 2 weeks leading up when we got the conference tournaments all over the map.
Yes.
It's very interesting in college basketball this year. It's similar to football. I mean, the SEC, the Big Ten are going to get a ton of teams in the tournament. The ACC struggling, as you probably know, with your Pitt Panthers in that league. The ACC is a bit down. Big 12's probably a bit overrated, except at the top. I look forward to a crazy March Madness. Plus, St. John's is back and relevant with Rick Pitino. There's a lot of great stories coming into this March Madness season, and we got baseball ready, as you mentioned earlier. We're ready to kick off in just another week or so in Japan already, for crying out loud.
Right. Yes, we do. And
there's my little rant for before I go.
Go ahead.
About the NBA wrecking, not losing their grasp. Major League Baseball doesn't honor its history the way it should. For years and years and years, the Reds got to open up all by themselves, as they were the original franchise that left in Major League Baseball. And we take that away. And America's pastime, we open up 6 of the last 20 years in Japan.
Yes.
I don't understand. Rob Manfred, please answer me.
Yeah, in the NFL, how about them opening up games? Steelers are going to be in Ireland, I think, this year or next year. I think this year they open up in Ireland. So that's going to be interesting.
Hey, Ralph.
Go ahead, Smokin'
Hey, Ralph,
Jim.
can I ask Keith one question before you go?
Absolutely.
Keith, if you were running the New York Jets, would you have gone with Aaron Rodgers one more year, since they built the whole team around Aaron Rodgers and what Aaron Rodgers like to do? Would you have brought him back one more season? No,
the distraction's too big, I think, at this point. I realize that they don't have an option behind him necessarily right now, but I would not have brought Aaron Rodgers back again. And you Steeler fans, I'm sure you don't want him either. I don't think him and Mike Tomlin are going to get together and go along very well. So hopefully I think he retires, actually. I think he retires.
Yeah, he could, or become a coach of coaching of the toilets or something. But that's So.
Yeah.
Anyway, Danny Fuller says, "Love the Pirates. It's time to produce." Yes, it is. Absolutely, Danny. Thank you for that. The Pirates, a really great historic team. Won some World Series back in the 70s. Need to win some more. We're in the wild card in 15 and 16. They just need to really start getting it back in order here. And Bob Nutting needs to sell the team. He's not. He's leaving it for his daughters when he retires. And I hear that could be in the next couple of years. Art the second. I'm sorry, go ahead.
What's he leaving? I mean, he's leaving a team in ashes, for crying out loud.
Exactly. Do you ever see the movie Any Given Sunday? And I always use this point.
Absolutely.
Remember when Cameron Diaz was running that football team? That's what I see Bob Nutting's daughters. But the only problem is, she had a little bit of bone to say a few things. But what I'm saying is that I see that with Bob Nutting, if he decides to move it to his daughters. Somebody who has no clue how to run a football team. And I have nothing against women. We have a woman owner in Tennessee. So, I mean, but I'm just saying, and I'm not saying anything against women. I'm just saying that, the way that she was the owner of the team and everything else, and her advisors were like, why don't you just sell the team and go play golf or something? You know
They
what I
just
mean?
need some money to come in there and actually want to run a Major League Baseball franchise, right?
Exactly. Hey, Mark Cuban offered him double, and he said the Pirates are not for sale. Double, Keith. I would have took that and ran away with it. I would have said, "Here, you can have it." Toodaloo.
I think you fans would be very happy with Mark Cuban as the owner as well, because he'd want to win.
Oh yeah, and he don't take no job, and he'll sign all the players he can to win. So,
right.
Keith, thank you for being part of the program. Much appreciated, and we'll have you back on again real soon because we got the draft coming up. I'm going to have you on for a special draft show. We're going to talk about, and I'm trying to get everybody on for all 32 teams, somebody that covers them. We're going to have a huge draft talk and combine talk coming up in the next few weeks. So.
Happy to do it.
All right. Thank you. Oh, by the way, I'm sure you heard about Mike Lang. I forgot to mention that today here on the show. Sorry to hear about Mike Lang. We weren't here last week. I was supposed to go to an event. The event was canceled. So I decided not to put the show on because it was going to be last minute. But I want to send my show out today, this show here out today, to Mike Lang in his honor. One great guy who, if you listen to him on the radio, you felt like you were at the arena. I mean, it really was. And I got to meet him personally about 12, 15 years ago. I got to meet him personally.
46 years, right? Behind the microphone there, I think.
Yes, 46 years. Yeah. So he doesn't have the record yet. Bill Hillgrove is one of our longest lasting broadcasters here. He's been with Pitt for 56 years.
Wow.
So he's been doing football for about 40 years. He and basketball. He's been 56 years with Pitt, and then he was with the Steelers for almost 30 years, I believe. So he started in '92 and he retired last year. So that's a lot, So I'm glad that Bill's still at it, still going at it. So good for him.
Keep trucking.
Yep, I'm going to try to see if I can get him on as well. All right. Have a great one, Keith. Thank you for being part of the program as always, and you have yourself a safe and blessed day. And we'll be in touch.
Thanks, okay? Ralph. See you later, Smokin' Jim. Smokin' Jim.
Okay, Keith. Take care, buddy.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Have a great one, Keith. Thank you. That was Keith Engle, TGI Sports. We're simulcasted on here. All right. Smokin' Jim, final thoughts before we wrap it up. Get ready for the wrestling show.
Oh, man, that was awesome. That was great. Some great information coming from Keith in all different sports. Only thing I disagree with you and him, and you guys both nailed it on everything else, but I don't think that Major League Baseball would ever go for revenue sharing, salary cap. They'll never do that.
Yeah, well, they have revenue sharing now. They'll never do a salary cap. But wishful thinking, but that's what they need. They need to do that. And I think you'll agree with me on that.
I agree. I agree.
They need to do that. Okay, stay tuned. Coming up at 5, Wrestle Talk with me, Ralph Williams, Smokin' Jim Frazier. And at 5:30, T. Ranchula. Yeah, on the phone. We're going to have T. Ranchula coming up. Stay right here. We'll be back. Have a great one. See you next Tuesday, and I'll have another great guest. Check my social media platform.